Hello, beautiful souls of the human design community. Welcome to another journey into my human design, but not mine, Natasha's. I'm so excited. Natasha Black is with us today. She's a 3/5 emotional manifesting generator. Welcome, Natasha. It's so lovely to have you here.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here. So happy to be in your beautiful energy, Shari.
Oh, thank you. And also the same. I'm just going to come in and tag everyone so they can come and find us and chat with us and make sure we're actually live, because that is always. But also I realized I didn't put your actual profile in. This is generator multitasking. Hold on. All is good. We're all good. Like, I always feel really glad when I get to the end of the multitasking bit and I haven't stuck my tongue out in concentration or something. Okay, so welcome, Natasha. Do you want to tell us a little bit? I always feel a bit like Scylla when I say this, but who you are and what you do in the world. Do you want to share that first?
Yes, so I'm Natasha Black. I'm a wife and a mum, and I like to share that because us mums, we know the journey of motherhood and mission. And, you know, we know that motherhood is part of the mission. And, you know, I just think it's important to share that. But my work is all about transformation. It's inner transformation for external results. My work is for the person who is on a path of self-discovery, wanting to fulfill their potential and their purpose. They know deep inside of them that they are here on a mission, and they are so determined to fulfill it. I'm going to cough.
That's all right. Way. I love all of that. It's such a beautiful reflection, and I love that you lead with "I'm a wife and a mum," because it's true. Like, that journey is nuanced, right? It can be really nuanced. Hold on, I can mute you while you're in. There you go. I've muted you. So cough away. Do what you need to do. All is good. I'm a great filler inner. So obviously Natasha's been moving a lot of energy in her throat chakra as a manifesting generator. Are you ready to be unmuted? Ready? I've unmuted you, if that is
great.
Good.
Yes. Okay. All today I've been getting this little niggle. You can hear it in my throat. So I've actually got 2 glasses of water here. So if I have to stop again, mute me.
Okay.
So sorry, what did you say?
That always happens when there's like a new level of messaging about to be born. In my experience, I'm like, oh, so juicy.
Do you know what? I've just done a business clarity reading with somebody and it was off the scale and my voice kept going like this. And I kept getting all these goosebumps. Like, I get them on a reading anyway. But today there was like 8, 9, 10 times, and this was happening. So it's really interesting that you're saying that.
Yeah.
So interesting. So yeah, sorry. So what did you say? You said something it's so nuanced with being a mum or something. What did you say?
Being a mum, yeah. I think that the journey in life, but also what we're going to talk about today, the journey of human design, also gets to be really nuanced when we're a mum or when we're in a relationship, because we go into that deep inner awareness, but then we want to know about the others and the other awareness and stuff as well. Before we go into anything like that, I want to take you back to when you first discovered human design. Tell me about how it came into your life.
Okay, so I had my first reading in 2014. Somebody on Facebook that I was connected to said that they'd had a reading and how incredible it was for them, their business, the expansion of their business. And at that point, I was like I was on a roll with my work.
Yeah.
And I was just like, anything that's going to support me to get my purpose and my mission out there. I've always been very big on my own inner work, personal transformation, healing. That's how I got into this in the first place. And so when I saw that, I had a reading straight away.
Yeah.
And it it was really interesting because it confirmed to me what I already knew about myself, but it was like that real sort of like validation and extra permission slip that I'm on the right path and keep going. But then also I'm emotional authority. I've got the 3955 and the 1222, high highs, low lows. I always thought I was the drama queen of my friends. I always thought if anybody is going to be shouting or crying, it's going to be me. I'm up and I'm down. And I used to always say, like, I used to have these short, sharp highs and long, deep lows. And I thought it was wrong. I thought I was wrong. I thought there was something wrong with me. And actually, when I discovered that I was emotional authority, that was like, oh my goodness, you know, like it really made sense to me. And it gave me even more permission to be myself. Now, I'll be honest, I've been on a journey for the last 10 years with this emotional authority and the melancholy and you know, my background is in emotional freedom techniques. So I've done lots and lots of healing and trauma healing and emotional work. And so I wasn't new to it when human design came into my life, but that gave me an extra understanding of myself and self-acceptance. Then after that, I didn't know that human design was so deep. I didn't know there was so much juiciness to it. And I didn't know that you could find the areas to decondition through human design, because I only had one reading. And I did have, funnily enough, with the reading that I purchased, I had a coaching session, but I never took it. Which was interesting. Anyway, and then in 2017, it came back into my life again. There was an ad, human design, using it for business. So I went into it, started learning more about myself. Then I discovered that you could decondition. And there were several areas that I knew that I was totally out of alignment. I'm a manifesting generator and I was behaving like a manifestor. I was in manifestor mode. Couldn't get out of it. I didn't know how to get out of it. And I just got myself into a position of actioning, initiating, you know, and I knew that I needed to stop. And I kept telling myself, this is out of alignment, but I didn't know how. Number two, I'm a 3/5. I saw myself going into savior mode, my line 3, going into savior mode, because I've been a problem fixer. Fixing since I was 10 years old, like, you know, finding the solutions for everybody, being the one sorting everybody out. All of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in savior mode. Like I want to save everybody and it's killing me. And something happened to somebody that I know where I wanted to go into that pattern and I had to hold myself back, literally, because I could see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I knew if I was going to make any changes, I had to stop that pattern. I had to. And then I could see how I was with my open ego, how I was in this proving myself cycle. And then with my open spleen, I was holding on to things for longer than I should. And I could clearly see all of those things.
I love.
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I was burnt out, but I was burnt out. And my kids were so young. They were like, I think they were 3 and 5. And I was running around being a mom to a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old and working and doing all of these things out of alignment. And I was burnt out. And this one day, I just said, I've got to stop. Like I've got to stop. And I don't recommend this to anyone unless I cold turkeyed all of them. All of those patterns. I just said, stop. And I stopped. And it was so hard. It was so hard because what do you do when you can't do all the things you only know how to do?
Oh, I just got goosebumps. I love this. Tell me what you did.
I came off Facebook. I shut my business down. I came off Facebook and I just said, I've got to stop. Like, I cannot. And actually, it's bringing so much emotion up for me because I knew I didn't know another way, but I knew I had to stop. And I stopped. And the identity crisis that ensued was immense. And the pain that came up from all of that. Who am I if I am not doing that?
Yeah.
Who am I? Who am I if I'm not working? Who am I if I'm not earning money? Who am I if I'm not being the savior? Who am I? Who the F am I?
Yeah.
And I literally just went into mother mode. I just focused in on my family and I slept. I slept and I shut my whole work down. I'd been doing these soul accelerator events that were going really well. People were asking for them. I'd got people messaging me saying, when's the next one? When's the next one? I stopped all that. I was running my Soul Sanctuary membership, like that I'd been running for 3 years, my beloved Soul Sanctuary membership. I had to go to them and tell them that I was closing it down. That they all said we would stay forever.
Yeah.
And they were gutted, and I cried and cried and cried for days. But I knew I had to stop. And it was in that stopping and in that identity breakdown kind of thing, and in that rejuvenation, that things obviously started to, shift and change. But it took a long time for me. It took a long time, but it took the right amount of time for me.
It's right. I think this is something that's really important, and it's something that I think is not spoken about enough actually in a lot of the online space in general, because we're all like instant gratification, faster, faster, faster. But it's actually in the slowing down. It's in the stillness. It's in that place where you're not attached to, okay, this has got to be done by next month, or this has got to be done by this time. But, particularly with the embodiment of your human design and the deconditioning and all of those things, it is a journey. It is a process. It's not like, okay, great, we're going to get it done in 3 days. It's so much more, because it's that real depth of understanding of who you are. And like you said, that shedding of all those layers of identities and the societal kind of construct that we can put in, and all of those pieces. So I love that you've let's get into the juiciness of all of this. So tell me a little bit more about that identity. Like, the identity shift, I think, is huge when people start to go into human design. How pivotal or important was understanding, like from a head level, understanding your human design to support you during that shift?
So in the beginning, it was just more, these patterns have got to go, like this has got to change. And so I didn't leave my human design alone in that respect. Actually, I did a lot of research around my human design, and this is 2017. So there wasn't as much as what there is now. And I've got this pink little book where I'd find stuff, find information, and I'd write it in this book, and I'd read it every day. And I'd be like, right, Open G Center, what's this? And I'd be reading it every day. And then I put it down for quite a while. And then I started to get into Gene Keys, and I did the activation sequence, and then I put that down. And what I find is, when human design is part of your path, because it's not for everybody, it's not supposed to be for everybody. It's for the people who are on that fractal line. And actually, it's really interesting, just as a side note, in 2009, 2 women that I knew did my human design chart, not because I asked them to. They said, oh, what's your birth date and all that kind of stuff. Did my chart, showed me my chart, told me I was a manifesting generator. I looked at it and I was like, what is that rubbish? And didn't look at it again. But when something is meant for you, it keeps coming back. And so that's what happened. It kept coming back to me, and I kept being reminded. And so then I found somebody who is looking at human design again for business, looking at the Mercury gates for your message and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to look at my design even more and looking at, what is it that's really in my chart that I am here for. And my chart all over, it's transformation, it's breaking patterns of the past. I've got 12 as my conscious sun, public speaking, I've got teaching in my chart, like all the stuff that I love and that I do. I've got this wide open G Center, like, looking at people, seeing their potential, knowing their direction, supporting them with their direction. I've got the 952, really getting people focused on what is important. And, I have my chart up on my desk here and I look at it every day. Yeah. And I look at it and I just look at some of it and I'm just taking it in and contemplating and sitting with it. And it's like this. One of the things that I do with my clients is using the chart and turning it into a story of you and using that as your as your magnet. So it's like, this is your new narrative, this is your story, and now you are going to be magnetized towards that. It's a calling you forward. It calls you into who you are, how you are, what you're supposed to be doing in the world. And honestly, it's been a pivotal part. Like, in the moments where you forget who you are and you read that again, like the readings that I had that Karen Curry Parker did for me, and she told me over and over again, your time is coming, you just got to wait for the right time. Like, if you're not ready to speak, don't speak. Like, it's a right time. Like the last couple of years, I've been knee deep in, I did 6 certifications in the last 2 years. And there were times when I was like, I need to be more visible. I need to be on social media more. I need to do, but my voice wasn't there. Yeah. This year, I've come into this year and it's like, my voice is just like, it is on. Like my line 5 is wanting to be visible, And so back to your question, it's important. It's an important part of, being called forward by your design and what you are here to do and the purpose that you have in the world. And if you draw into human design, you've got a purpose. Like, everybody's got a purpose. But I always think that the people who are drawn to human design, it's because they've got a purpose that needs to be shared with the world in some form. And this is the mechanism through which they're gonna get out into the world, no matter how many lives they're supposed to impact, even if it's just to impact their families' lives. Did that
so cool. Yeah, 100%. And now I've got more questions. Obviously, generate a response in action. I would like to, because you were talking about the identity shift, and you've got Undefined G Center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about how that piece played out? I also have Undefined G Center, and I think it's a really interesting one with that identity and purpose and really attuning to that. How did that play out for you?
So through the void years, I felt like I was constantly searching for my direction. What's my direction? What's my direction? What's my direction? What I know now is my direction is whatever was right in front of me. And I say this to my clients, like, you can be wanting to build a business over here, but if you're not dealing with what is right in front of you, your business isn't going to succeed, because this is what you need to do in order for this to succeed. Like, you do what is right in front of you. You focus on what's right in front of you. And so I do look back and think all those times where I felt like, what am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? And all these questions that start to surface when you're in the void. That's what my G Center was doing. It was like, in the lower expression, I was searching for my direction everywhere. And I know I could do this. Oh, let's go and see this person and see about doing this, and then getting home and energy not being there. But now, like, when I look back at the past, in the past, when I was really like on purpose, like I just knew what my direction was. It's always been transformation, coaching, healing, group work, speaking. Like this is me. This is who I am. I transform lives. I bring people back to themselves. I bring them back home to who they really are. And what is so interesting, Shari, is 10 years ago when I was running my soul sanctuary, we had a promotional video made, like a professional promotional video. I think it's like about six minutes long. And it's me with the kids. Like Harrison, my boy, was like still a baby. Like he was sat on the kitchen table and carrying him in my arms. And the guy came and filmed us at breakfast, and we went to the park, and, you know, just doing the normal things that we do. And then there's like an overlay of me speaking, and, you know, and then at the end, there's like this real sort of like call to action for Soul Sanctuary. And we didn't really use it. We used it a little bit, but we didn't really use it. Anyway, my husband found it the other day, and he said, that video is so good. Like, you've got to watch that video. And I was like, no, I'm not watching it. It's 10 years old. It's old stuff. I'm not bothered about watching it. Yeah. And he said, it's really good. We need to revive it. I said, we can't revive that. The kids are like all grown up now, like they're nearly 11 and 13. Like, you know, there's no way. Anyway, what I didn't know was that he had put it up on one of my on my website, on my natashablack.net. He'd put it up there. And I'd been contacted by a magazine to write some articles for them. And so we were having this meeting, and she said, look, the way that you're talking about human design and your enthusiasm and this and that, she said, I want you on the front cover of the magazine. She said, and she went through all of this stuff. You'll get an award. We want you on the front cover of a magazine. We want you this. We want you. And it was so overwhelming. It was supposed to be for International Women's Day. It was so overwhelming. And I said, this, you know, this is great, and thank you. And I'm emotional authority, so I'm going to have to go and, you know, ride out my wave. She was like, oh yes, it's fine. I said, but how did you find me? And she said, the video on your website. She said, you've had it done so professionally. It blew me away. Well, I didn't have a clue what she was on about. And I looked at her and I was like, she's got the wrong person. She's got the wrong person. And then all of a sudden it clicked. I was like, oh, has my husband put that video out and not told me? So I went onto my website and I looked, and it was there. I was like, oh my God.
That is so funny. Well done, hubby.
You know what? I watched it and I cried. And I cried because I knew my purpose 10 years ago. Yeah. And I speak it in that video. I knew it. And in that void place, because I didn't have that direction, my open G Center, I was like, I felt like I was that identity. Who am I without that, you know, without all that, those masks and those layers? But the you that you are is always there. It never changes. It doesn't change. Like that, that true, authentic you doesn't change. And that's why she wanted me on the cover of the magazine, because that came through in that video. And she didn't know that was 10 years old. She didn't know the video was 10 years old. And it took me going back and watching that video and realizing I always knew.
I love that.
I always knew.
So good.
But I had to go on that journey of refinding myself and remembering.
Exactly. It's similar to what we were talking about before we came live. You know, when you're going through that expansion, that connection with the contrast and the duality and all of those things, like sometimes we have to go into that messy middle, and we don't know how long we're going to be there for before we can emerge again. And I think that we don't give enough love or gratitude or awareness to that space as well.
Yeah exactly. And I think, you know, like what I'm saying to my clients now and the people that are coming into like my programs is this is just the beginning for you. Like there's a whole journey ahead, and we're not going to do everything in 3 months, but we're going to do what needs to be done. We're not going to, like, for me, there's alignment, and then there's pushing. There's that, there's a let me say it in a better way. There's expansion through alignment, and there's expansion through pushing. You can expand your business through pushing, but you'll burn out.
Yeah, one's sustainable and one's not.
Exactly. So I'm in it for the long haul, and I've always been in it for the long haul. And from the moment from in 2008, when my life radically transformed, I always placed my own personal transformation as my number one value. And I hold it's like, when I speak to my clients, I say there's always a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. When you keep focusing on the gap, you're in gap lack.
Yeah.
Because you're not where you want to be. You're in lack. And that's the energy that you're in, lack. Low vibration, unhealthy, low expression. You're in lack. But you can have this as a focus, as your goal, as this is where I'm headed, and be here and do the work of today, knowing, having the faith and the trust in yourself that you're going to go and get to, and there's never an end point, but you're going to get to where you are going by focusing on the work of today. And sometimes that work is resting. Sometimes that work is doing nothing. Sometimes that work is doing a whole bunch of stuff and then not doing anything for a few days.
Yeah.
But you focus on the work of today, and you're getting to this point here. You don't know how long that's going to be, but the more that you prepare, preparation plus opportunity equals success. When the opportunities arise, because they do, if you're not prepared, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah.
How do you prepare? By doing the work of today and not getting stuck in the gap lack.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's really where one of the biggest challenges is in the world that we're in of instant gratification and all of this like shouty marketing that says I'm going to make you rich in 57.8 seconds and all these kind of things,
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. I would love to kind of look at your human design, because we've got a few more minutes, but I really want to touch on how has understanding your human design and your family's human design, how has that changed dynamics at home for you?
Right. I've got a splenic 3-5 daughter, projector daughter, and I've got a 1-4 sacral generator son. Okay. My son, as a generator, go, 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 go. My daughter, go, oh, I need to rest. Like, and really knowing that about her, and me being a manifesting generator and being quick and moving and, like really having to try and slow down, which is hard for a manifesting generator to do, but really slowing down and recognizing that she needs that rest. She needs it. And it's not lazy. And if she wants to lie in a bed, she gets to lie in a bed. And she's a 3-line. And if she wants to have an experience, she can have an experience. If she wants to go to a club and she only goes to a club for 1 day, then that's fine. If she goes to a club and she ends up staying for 3 years, then that's fine also. It's allowing her to have as many experiences that she is personally drawn towards. That is that's really important. And she's also got the Freak to Genius channel. And with that channel, that they can really zone out and not, you can be speaking to them and they don't hear you. So recognizing she's not ignoring you and sort of, tapping her on the shoulder. And some of the things that she comes out with, and you just kind of what are you going on about? But also recognizing that she's got answers. And she might only be 12, but if she wants to share her ideas and thoughts with me, I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
Because she's a projector,
so liberating to have that. Imagine, and I know everything's perfect and our style of parenting, you know, that we received was perfect for us and all of those things. But imagine what it would be like now to have been parented according to your human design.
Oh gosh, incredible,
Game
incredible.
changer,
Yeah.
absolute life changer.
Yeah. But can I just, before we go, I just want to share about my son. So he's a 1-4. That 4 line, he is from such a young age, he gathers the crowds. Like he's like, he's just started middle school, and he came to the door the other day. There were 10 friends at the door.
Yeah.
My daughter opened the door and said, "Where have all these people come from?" She said, "It's not fair. I haven't got that many friends here." But he's just one of these social boys that everybody just loves him. You know, he's just got that energy around him. So actually looking at how different they are and knowing what they both need has just been just the fact of knowing one's a generator and one's a projector has been game changing.
It's huge. It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm just wondering if there is anything that you would like to say to somebody who's just discovered human design. Like, what would you say to them?
I would say have a reading, like really have a reading first, because what can happen is you go on this journey of wanting to learn as much as you can, but until you've got somebody that can synthesize what's in your chart and really pull the pieces together, you're only getting part of the story of you. And really tuning in to your type and your strategy and authority, and really making that your first port of call, because that's your foundation. And then profile, really getting to know your personality and purpose through your profile, so that you can start allowing yourself to be you through those lines and getting to know yourself through those lines. And in actual fact, you could just look at profile completely on its own without type and strategy. Like you could actually just start there. But my recommendation is, don't skip those foundational steps. Really don't skip them. And it's so interesting, the amount of people who come in who have been in human design for so long and their authority is still a challenge. And I want to say it can take a long time to not just decondition, but really get back into the body, reconnect with the body and reconnect with your body wisdom and get out of here, because this is limited. This knows everything, and this is going to be your guide. And obviously there's so much more, but that's probably it in a nutshell.
Speaking my language, Natasha. And one final thing for all of the MGs listening, do you have any, like a little piece of advice for the MGs?
Yes, definitely. Slow down to speed up, especially if you've got emotional authority. Really slow down to speed up. You are here to skip steps. You are here to multitask. You are here to have loads of things on the go, but it doesn't necessarily mean that all of those things are going to bear fruit. Those things are there for you to use your energy. Sometimes you will start things and never, ever go back to them. Sometimes you will start things and later on down the line, the next piece will come. You've just got to allow yourself to be that multi-dimensional person. And also making exercise a priority. Like, you need exercise, you need it. And if you've got a defined route, you definitely need to get into the pulse of your route, you need to exercise. And if you've got the gate 52, especially if you've got the gate 52, you can fall into a sedentary life where you just sat there not moving. Things are not going to happen if you're not moving. Like, that is your energy stagnating. Yes, there is a time for stillness, but you've got to move your body. You need to move your body. You are here, you are here to show people the fastest and the quickest route to doing whatever it is that you are here to share with people. Just remember that. And you will skip steps, and some steps you will skip and you'll have to go back to. But ultimately, if you can keep those things in mind, and for anybody, any type, allow yourself to be who you are and own it. Own that you're a manifesting generator. Own that you're a projector. Own your type, because when you own it and you accept it, the energy that you put out is it's just another level. It is just another level.
100%. 100%. I love it all. Thank you so much, Natasha, for being here today. This was so much fun to share with you, for you to share with us.
Well, you shared with me too, and everybody got a little coughing fit in the beginning as well, which is always
posted that out, and we can edit that out. It's all good. But thank you so much. I appreciate all of your wisdom and your sharing. And I find that these kind of talks really help people to understand that journey of human design in a more experiential or even practical way, because otherwise it can seem a bit daunting in lots of respects, and just what am I doing? Why is this happening? So I really love everything you shared. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, darling.
Pleasure. Thank you. And we'll be back again with more human design journeys very soon.
Yay. Bye, sweetie.